Hi there, everyone. I'll be needing your help. If you could just please tell me if you can hear my audio, right? Can you hear me? Naririnig po ba ninyo? Let me check on my mobile. And, and okay. So as usual, as usual, as usual, I'm having issues with my V8. I'm expecting that it's going to run smoothly tonight. However, I have other means to make the show go on. Good evening, everyone, and you're watching Lulay Voices. And today we are on a second letter sender for the Loving Lulay, where we feature problems, issues, and other things from our letter senders, from our friends who would like to have clarification, some help. And last week, the first um, letter sender that we have is a Filipino who's been working in the United States. And few days before that, supposed to have this first, but then the previous one gave me an interest. However, it's not an excuse, but it's randomly been chosen. And I am speaking in English because the letter sender is a foreigner. She didn't mention to me, but by the way the letter has been written, um, I'm not sure if she understands Tagalog, but she belongs to a half American and half Filipino. And as our um, title goes, it is about teenage Trixie. And the letter is short. It's direct to the point in some way about the thing that Trixie wanted to have assistance with, but it's a bit complex in the sense that I cannot say that I'm not biased, but I would say yes, I am, because it is like I am in the middle of being a Filipino and being a mom. And I can't say that I will be biased. I can't say that I'm not, but I will only base this on the reality and the how the situation would go. And it is a sensitive topic, I would say, but not really if the person that we will be dealing with will have a broader mind. The way the letter has been written, this teenager has a close idea of the things that she might probably missing. She is only accepting one side of the culture where she's been exposed to, and it's the natural thing of having a bit of a gap between the mother and the child. And before anything else, I would like to welcome everyone. Hello to my day journey. Thank you for the first one who made a comment. Thank you so much for the support, and for those who are interested of hearing our letter center. It's going to be short. It's well, to be honest, today, uh, somehow I wasn't really ready to do this. However, the show must go on. Um, There's a bit of some domestic problems here, but I mean, I'm an ordinary person, so I can also experience things like that. So let's go. And everyone who wants to be participate, I'm very much appreciative to hear your thoughts. I may be right, I may be wrong. I mean, I can only say the facts, the farthest that I can research. The only research that I did after reading this letter is it's about the facts of how or what problems, common problems teenagers could face. And in relation to that, that having said that, is a concrete reason why sevens are so-called strict. Now, it's not just a matter of being strict, but this is like matter of understanding the diversity and the culture where communication must enter between the parent and the child that is caught between two different cultures because you have to understand you cannot impose something that your kids don't understand because they need reasoning, they need to be convinced that this is valid or that this is acceptable. So let's start. It this is really short, really short. So this letter has been sent to me. What day is it today? Today is the fourth. It was sent to me same no a day before. However, I did the reason I don't want this girl to feel that she's the second best. But at that time, the first one has a different impact, and somehow I feel that it's a bit um timely if we should say. So let's start on with our second letter sender, and it goes, dear Lulay, thank you for the opportunity. Seeing a channel from my friend's laptop. I'm 17 years old. Let's say half Filipino, half American. I'm confused about the huge difference between Filipino and American culture. Clearly, we are in the United States, and clearly, being born in California gives me the right to be free off of my mother's Filipino practices. I remembered her telling me to be home by 8 p.m., and it was so embarrassing. I have to explain myself to my friends. You seem a bit cool for a mom that you give your kids freedom. I mean, what's the Filipino culture anyway? We are in the United States. She needs to chill. I need to have my own life. The generation is done. Lulay, please help me out clear my mom's head that this is the future. Hope she's listening right now. Thank you for the time. Cheers. Loving you, Trixie. It's a very short, but gives a big impact from a teenager's perspective. She did mention that she's 17 years old, which gave me the opportunity to narrow down the reasoning that I could give to her in a manner of how a 17-year-old could understand. And strictly, if you're listening right now, I did reply to my email that I'll be featuring your letter today, and I do hope, however, if you're not listening right now, um, it it's all right. You can read, or you can have another look of this video. And before I start on my, um, should I say, it's not actually, I can't say this is a major problem. However, it is an ongoing problem between a mother and a child, and it will always be there. It will always be there. It is a phase. Let's clarify it in a way that it is not a problem, but it is a phase that every parent face. I might be facing it in the future. We don't know, and I I may not be able to apply the resolution that I be telling now. However, I could read, or I could watch again the rerun of my video and then see myself how I was able to advise somebody, and now I'm dealing with the same problem. Anyway, for Trixie, I just hope it's not only you that's listening right now. I'm also hoping that your mom is also listening, and there's nothing between having the two cultures, regardless of whichever place or country you are. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no rule in the universe that you cannot, or you can never experience a different culture while you're in a different country. The main problem is the communication that your parents, your mother, I mean, you didn't mention if your parents are both um, Filipino. It matters, it gives a bit of a weight because the two of them can explain to you. This one goes to um, this one is applicable to you being an American. This one is applicable to you being a Filipino. But you have to realize that you're only 17. That doesn't give you the legal right to do your thing independently because you're living under the roof of your parents. So the general rule is the rule of the universe is as long as you're under the roof of your parents, it's not like you're going to follow them forever, but it is a kind of respect. It's the respect that you should be giving to your parents because they own the house that you're living. So you have to face the fact that you are 17. You don't have a job. You are still dependent on your education. I understand that in the United States, once you're 18, your hormones are raging, that you are shouting to the world that I am independent, I'm already an adult, I have a say because I'm already 18. I have the license to drive, I could drink alcohol because I'm already 18. This is a silly, abusive reasoning that any 18-year-old teenager can can always say. Let me pop the bubble of your dreams of becoming independent in the real world. I went on to Google. I didn't check on the percentage, but I did check the chances of you getting in trouble if you don't follow your parents. There's nothing wrong with heading back home 8 p.m. if Your friends are fully aware with that. They are fully aware of your parents being uh, giving you curfew or giving you limitations. It's not limitations of not being safe, but limitation of you heading back home to be safe. There's a huge difference between your parents holding back their freedom than being careful for your safety, because all parents fear. They don't hold your friend's mind. They don't hold your mind. A split of a second, you can just change your mind and then jump to the highest building. Split of a second, you can say that I don't want this. I'd rather go back. It's it's not your fault. It's hormones. It's hormonal changes. At this stage, your hormones are raging, but you have to be aware that you are in between adulthood and being a minor. Not an it is not an excuse for you not to be aware of what will happen. It's not an excuse for you of not to be careful with the decisions that you'll be doing, regardless if it involves you, your siblings, your friends, because at the end of the day, whatever happens or whatever result might come out after deciding on something, it's your family that's going to be affected. It's a family that's going to be shamed. It's your family that will run to where you are if you're in trouble. It's your family. I I can say 100%. Not only your friends is going to be there, especially at your age, and you have to face the fact. It is a fact. For as long as you're not 18 years old, you cannot say that you're being embarrassed if your mom wants you to go home 8 p.m. It is a training for you to realize that there are limitations, there are things that you should be careful of doing, and there are moments where your family needs you to follow certain rules for the respect that they want to gain from you. Because once you get used to that respect, you will not find it difficult to say no to your friends if you don't like the things that they want you to do. It is a matter of you being responsible for yourself, and like, okay, I would tell about myself. I don't spank my kids. I try to negotiate, and I try to ask them. So as long as you can defend this thing, your action, I'm fine. But the thing is, I keep on asking, because if I'm not satisfied with your answer, why you did something that is not acceptable for me, it may be acceptable for you. I try to challenge you for as long as you can defend it. Because in life, if you make mistakes, it, at age of 25, you cannot call your mom and say, "But my mom told me to do this." You have to be trained and you have to learn how to defend yourself. And you following such rules is not an embarrassment for yourself or your friends. It is for your own good. It is not for your friends. It is not for your parents. Because any moment your parents might be gone. They may not be there. But you not knowing how to reason out, or not knowing how to follow instructions, not knowing how to understand why you have to do this, it's going to be difficult for you to run your own life because you are just going with the flow without even thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? It, it's like your parents want you to prepare for adulthood, and she wants to give you a taste of another culture that she's proud of. The only problem that I see between you and your mom is that you don't have the communication to discuss things. That's why you are wondering what where the Filipino culture is. And if I may say, I would give you an introduction of how the Filipino culture is. We have a conservative family background. We have a close family ties. We commonly have extended families where in one household we have our grandmother, our grandparents, our aunts, our brothers who are already 25 that are single, or we also have the cousins of my mom, those sorts of members of your family, wherein if you learn to embrace the other culture of Philippines, you find it interesting. It is like giving them a chance, and you try to ask them. You are in, let's say, and correct me if I'm wrong, a liberated lifestyle. And I do respect that. Your culture is different from my culture. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Filipino, but I'm saying this in a wider perspective that I am seeing it as an individual outside you and your mom's issue. Um, I went on to Google and then I specifically searched on common problems with teenagers in California. So you have, and I don't know how many percentage of chances you could, but commonly these are the chances where you get into trouble. And what are the troubles that you may be involved with? Common problems would be anxiety and depression, which maybe you might be experiencing, or maybe your friends, and you're always thinking that you are the loser, or you are the one that's being picked at because you don't understand things. Commonly, even not with teenagers, you have the alcohol and drugs, bullying, cyberbullying, teens, pregnancy, gang problems that will lead to murders and rape, and then growing up too fast. Growing up too fast is the common stage that I could say that you are in because you cannot wait to jump onto that next age, 18. Being 18 is a big responsibility. It's not always having fun. It's not always having fun. And I can just reiterate this, Trixie. It is not always having fun. Being 18 is a preparation for you for adulthood. This is the time where you will be challenged with lots of decision making, and this is the stage where you will be pushed to the limits of, can you still wait for a bit because you're not yet 20. You have to face the fact that for you to be able to support yourself, you have to have a stable job. And for you to have a stable job, you should have Well, I can't say degree because there are people who doesn't have a degree, but they are having a good position on their um, occupation, on their job. But you have to make sure that nobody can just take that position from you, sort of thing. It is not um, easy for it is not easy for you to say that you're still a teenager because I know you're kind of person that you wanted to show something to your parents, and it is on this stage where I think I am 100% sure and positive that communication should begin between you and your mom before anything else, because all of your questions can only be answered by your mom. Why is she insisting the Filipino culture, regardless if you're already in the United States? There might be something for it. She might want you to learn something. She might want to teach something, but both of you couldn't meet up on the same goal. Um, I am I am suggesting that you give your mom a chance, and there's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose because your mom will be your mom, your father will be your father. Make it a fun fact of you knowing something that you don't know. Make it a fun fact of you accepting something that you're not well versed of, and make it um, a way for you to better understand your mom before you move out. Because definitely, I can feel that when you reach 18, you'll be thinking, I want to move out. I wanna leave the house. I'm going to find a job when I'm 18. Honey, it's not always that easy. Grab the opportunity while you're still under the same roof with your parents, while you're still having that privilege to have the education without working, because that's how your parents feel that you deserve to have the education. You don't have to work for it. You don't be blinded on what you see on the movie. And I'm sure that this is one of the reasons why you're insisting something that you really wanted, something that you always say you're not familiar with. What's with the Filipino culture? Do not fall onto what the movies show you, because it's not real. That's why it's called a movie. Try to enjoy staying with your family, and there is nothing wrong, even if you're 18, 19, to stay with your parents' house. This is this is the advantage of having different cultures. It's you staying with your parents being accepted because you're Filipino, because in Filipinos that's okay with us. Even if you're 19, 20, it's fine. As long as you're single, you can stay with your parents. So enjoy that moment, enjoy that yes and no thing. And then in the middle of it, as you experience both cultures, then choose which one you think will be best for you. And then you try to talk to your parents that I think I'm okay to move out now. I want to have my own job, and those things. Being miserable without accepting the fact that you cannot go away with it because your mom has another culture. And like what I've said earlier, you didn't mention if your parents, both your parents are foreigners, and so happen that you were born in California, or one of them, obviously, your mom is a Filipino and maybe your father is an American. So it wasn't clear there. I don't know the nature of the job that you're, I'm assuming probably she's a nurse. So that's one thing. It is like me being a nurse as well. If I am on that situation, I am also willing to share my Philippine culture to my American child. So it is understandable that it is the communication that you're lacking. And I guarantee you that you will never go wrong. You just have to share. You just have to watch how it goes and then ask. The thing is, you cannot oppose on something and then it's not well understood by your mom why you're opposing against it, and then she keeps on insisting. Since you wrote the letter to me, I assume that whatever suggestion and whatever discussion I would share with you, your heart will be open for it. And I am hoping that I'm assuming it correctly. So, Trixie, Joyline, and it's your mom. I mean, what's painful with doing so? It's not like you're going to eat balut. I mean, it's not like, I mean, if you don't know what balut is, you have to Google it and find out yourself. I can't be explaining it because there are other people who may not be able to enjoy eating it. But however, try to make your own research and then ask, because it's not going to make you lose something. It's not going to make you be a less of a person. No, not. So I just hope that you will accept some of the changes and you will accept some information and you will accept the fact that you are 17. Try to enjoy being 17. Don't grow up too fast. Not as yet. It will come. There's nothing in the world that ages backwards. You always age forward. So you try to just enjoy what's at present and then try to talk to your parents, talk to your mom, because there are loads of things that you'd be enjoying if you know about the culture, the Philippine culture. Believe me, there will be. And number one would be the food that you might be enjoying. One thing that I would suggest you, if you try to ask your mom how to cook those things, um, she might be happy. She might be very happy about this. So I guarantee that you'd be able to enjoy about it. And I just hope that in the coming days you learn how to appreciate one at a time, one thing about the culture at a time. And then you probably have to share it with your mom that, hey, mom, how were you when you were 17 at what year? So comparison, it will give you, it will educate you further. I just want you to understand that your mom just wants you to be safe She wants you to enjoy life, and she wants you to enjoy both of both sides of the world at the same time while she still can. So try to appreciate that. And I do hope that the little time that I offered to you gave a bit of um, healing, if I may say. So that's it. I just hope that Trixie, if you're not listening on my live stream, I just hope that you'd have the chance. I replied on the email, so I just hope that I'm assuming that you have read that, and I'm assuming that you'll be listening or you'll be watching right now. So that is my firm advice for you. And it's not going to hurt you. They're just after your safety, and they're just preparing you for you to step on to the next year when you become 18, because, well, there are some things that you are licensed to have with when you're 18 in the United States, but don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush, because life is not a race. You don't have to race for yourself. It's not a race. And I just hope that I helped you a bit about that. And for Trixie's mom, I just hope that you're also listening if you happen to know my channel. So yeah, balik na po tayo sa ating mga friends na nandito na po. And I'm just hoping that Trixie is listening right now. And unfortunately, my VA didn't work now, didn't work again. So I'm having my other microphone, and next time magkakaroon po tayo ng other things. There's so many things going on. And thank you, my day, for being there. And mainly Axel. Hello there. And how are you? I have already, oh, meron nga palang ano, malabor tayo. Because that's for Trixie. And then let's go back to reality about dropping your link. So unfortunately, I don't know, guys. I don't know with you guys, but I'm okay with it if you want to drop your link. But I've heard that it's not advisable on a live stream. So if you don't feel like it, it's fine. And if you happen to see the names of your people, of your friends here, ano po sa tingin ninyo, mga kalulers? Ang problem, it's not actually a problem, but for Trixie, she is confused on why her mom is insisting about the Filipino culture. For those who are here, you can type in your comments on the comment box below, on the chat box below. 1878 Orange, hi, good evening. Yes, it's a bit of confusion. Our letter sender is trapped between two different cultures. She lives in United States, and the mother is a Filipino, and there are certain rules that she doesn't understand. She mentioned that she's 17 years old, and I did mention to her that for as long as you're living under the roof, there are certain rules, and these rules are not meant to just make you follow them, but it only gives you the opportunity to show respect for your parents because you're living under the roof, and legally you're still 17. You don't have the independence of doing such. And I did mention to the letter sender that The diversity of the Philippine culture is quite comparable to those in the open countries, or liberated countries like the United States. Um, our culture is a bit conservative, and there are normal things that are not normal for the liberated countries, such as having an extended family where we normally live with our cousins who are single, with our aunts, and um, we even stay under the roof until we get married, usually. For as long as our relatives who are still single, regardless of the age, we stay. And that's our culture. It's not a rule, but that's our culture. So it's something that is acceptable for us. We don't need to explain it to others. And once a certain Filipino enters a community of another culture, we have to communicate that this is acceptable and this is not. So it's a matter of compromising. And in the case of Trixie, it's her own family, and she's 17, so she doesn't understand why her parents have to, or her mom in particular, would ask her to be home at a certain time. If she feels awkward and she feels embarrassed from her friends. And I try to explain that it's not the parents that want her to get embarrassed, but it is the fact. And mainly, well, as a mother, as a Filipino mother, the basis of such commonly are we just want you to be safe. And it's not like we're going to condemn you if you don't follow certain rules, but with your age, that you're not yet 18. And if there's something that is odd with the situation between her mom and her and her, it's a compromise between how they would communicate. And what I have researched is mostly it's not like, especially if me living in California, I've seen things, I have experienced things from my friends probably. I don't want that to happen to my children. So it's the rule and her basis of making sure that she's safe. But the thing is, Trixie doesn't understand that. So Trixie and her mom should communicate and should talk it out, because it's not also fair for Trixie to just blindly follow something. She has to understand something. And her living in the United States, not in the Philippines, it's up to her to feel comfortable if she follow or do certain cultural activities like, well, we do monopole. Obviously, I don't think they're doing that. It wasn't mentioned. Some practices and cultural beliefs and practices were not actually mentioned there. She only mentioned about certain rules. So I assume that Trixie is a bit confused why there are certain rules that she needs to follow, and she's already 17. It's a safety, and it's a safety issue, and being a teenager is not always having fun. So there are responsibilities behind having fun. And blindly, her mom wants her to understand that. But at the same time, her mom owe her an explanation why. She cannot, because she has her own mind, and we have to face that. And she has to understand if it's fair or not. And yeah. So, what do you think, guys? Before we end this session, I'm quite surprised to see our 45 minutes already. And thank you, Mamie Axel. Mega, mega love shout out. And for 1878 Orange, thank you for the support. And My Day Journey, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the 2 million people in the house. And yes, it's a bit short, but it's kind of interesting because it's like, shall I follow or not? And it's a rule, it's a universal rule of the sex. You ask, you question, you try, and then if you don't like it, you're not going to be forced. And you have to remember, nobody has to force you. It's it's not something that will make you appreciate a certain culture. And being a teenager who is lost um, in her own world, it's not easy. And then they'll budge you into another culture. It's not going to be easy. Not Trixie. Talk to your mom and then ask her because I can tell you loads of things. I can explain to you loads of things, but I don't think it's going to matter at all because I'm not your mom. And I'm not saying that you sending the letter is not right, but I'm giving you the opportunity. This is your chance to ask her. This is your chance to give her the time to, or give her the benefit to explain why. Because we don't know. Probably one day you'll marry a Filipino as well, or you might find somebody who's your best friend who is a Filipino, and you have to at least know certain cultures. And there's nothing wrong with knowing different cultures. There isn't. So that's it for now, guys. And thank you for helping out. Thank you so much. And of course, we will see each other again next week. And I just hope that you'll be here again. Thank you so much for, yes, My Day Journey. Thank you so much for the support. And everyone here, welcome to give your thoughts. What are your thoughts before we end up the session? You can type in your comments, you can type in your concerns, and thank you so much, Mighty Jenny, for the support. And of course, for those who have some issues and problems that have been bottling up, give me the chance and we'll try to rush it out and make you feel a bit lighter. Because on reliable access, you learn nonsense useful things that you can apply on your daily life. Guys, life is too short. Life is for living. Thank you for watching. Bye.